Hi, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to all those who are joining from Philippines and rest of the world. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you for this exclusive webinar on online examination, CAMO's online examination, your unified platform to conduct AA-based remote proctored online examination. I'm just going to take a few minutes to understand if I'm audible enough. Could you please use the chat window to say if I'm audible? If you say yes, then I shall proceed further. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the confirmation. Thank you, really appreciate it. Thank you for this. Thank you for joining us on this exclusive webinar. Like I said, we have been getting a lot of requests from our customers and our prospects, to have a webinar on online examination because during this COVID time, everybody is keen to understand, especially the educational institutes are looking at conducting a remote proctored online examination. They're worried about the safety and security of conducting examination remotely because the students are spread across multiple locations. There are issues in terms of broadband connectivity and all of that. There are many questions amongst the academicians as how do we ensure that we conduct the online examination safely and securely. So our objective of having this webinar is to just clarify some of your doubts and give you a sneak peek into CAMO's product on how the online examination can be conducted using CAMO's product. That's the objective of today's webinar. Before I could move on to the actual session, I'd like to take a few minutes to just give a brief introduction to our company because some of you are our customers and many of you are considering CAMO. So to the benefit of the new joinees, I'd just like to give a brief introduction to us. CAMO as a company offers comprehensive software which covers the entire student life cycle. And we have started the company in the year 2013 with a clear vision to drive the pedagogical change. That was the objective with which we started the company. And today the company has the proven expertise and experience of doing global rollouts. Many of our projects have been rolled out in less than 3 months. This comes from a very good understanding of the domain. And also we have covered across all kind of verticals. CAMO has served and implemented the product across different verticals as well. And also the product comes with a mobile first technology. It's very nimble, adaptive, and easy to implement. That's the USP of a CAMO product. And in the marketplace, there are software providers who offers SIS alone and LMS alone. So the differentiator that we have is we offer an integrated solution, which is a student information system and a learning management solution. That's the USP of CAMO. And like I said, the company is truly innovative in nature. As though we started in the year 2013, we introduced integrated SIS and LMS at a very, very early stage in the year 2016. And then we were one of the pioneers in India to launch some of the modern academic concepts like choice-based credit system, competency-based learning, outcome-based education. And what we have seen is many of our customers have implemented these modern academic concepts and benefited hugely. And they are our brand ambassadors today to talk about CAMO's USP to other prospective customers as well. And at the onset of pandemic in the year in March, suddenly there was a huge request coming from our existing customers asking for a virtual classroom. Then CAMO launched virtual classroom. It's not like another Zoom or a Google Meet, or even you cannot compare this with any of the independent video conferencing tool that's available in the market, because it offers an integrated, a Zoom into the SAS platform. And also the analytics that it offers is very unique in terms of the management or the academicians can find out the number of classes conducted on a daily basis, how many sessions are going on in the institute at any given particular point of time. All of that can be checked, assessed on a real-time basis. And also we have introduced online, proctored online examination. Over 500,000 tests has been conducted using CAMUS product. So as an organization, we are truly innovative in nature, and we are looking at the needs of our customers and introducing some of the technological innovations very quickly. And it's a completely cloud-based product. Moving forward, today our presence is across 6 different countries, and 1 million users are on CAMUS platform, and we have an experience of serving close to about 400 plus institutions across 6 different countries. And we are very proud of the fact that our growth is driven by sheer referenceability, because our customer, after using the product, speak on behalf of us. That's a little bit of introduction from our end. Without any other delay, I'd like to introduce Sheikh Faizuddin, who is our product specialist. Sheikh Faizuddin comes with a background of working for an educational institution. He is an MTech from an NIT Warangal. As an academician, he understands the challenges of our customers, and he is very good in providing a tailor-made solution for the challenges of our customers. So I'd like to hand over the session to Sheikh, who will give a brief introduction to CAMU product, as well as showcase how online proctoring can be done using CAMU product. Over to you, Faiz.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Caroline. Very good morning, everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, over to you, Faiz.
Yeah, thank you. Let me quickly share my screen. Caroline, do you mind stopping your screen, please?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, before I take you into the demonstration of the proctoring process, firstly, I would like to thank everyone for joining this session. And also I'd like to congratulate at this onset, all of we are in this session only because of the intention of yours to be able to continue education process, to be able to be of service to the student, despite of the challenges that COVID and what we are facing despite of this kind of scenario. So on this onset, as an academician, I can very much relate with the kind of challenges day in, day out we are facing. So as a platform, as an integrated LMS and SAS system, we'd like to be of service to all the education institutions in this kind of challenging situations. Now I'm logging in as a faculty. Now the orange color screen that you see is a faculty's login. I have logged in as a super user. Now maybe post-COVID, the most commonly used term is, are you able to see my screen? Hope all of you are able to. So now what you see here is a faculty's login page. To the left-hand side are the different modules that CAMU offers, right from admissions till a student becomes alumni, or even before that. We have an inquiry module, right from inquiry till they become alumni. All the aspects that are needed can be taken care by the system. To the left-hand side, you can see all the modules that CAMU has to offer. So on the right-hand side, you can see different widgets using which faculty can perform their day in, day out activities. Now let me also quickly log in as a student. Now, as you can see, this is the landing page of the student. where student has an access to their profile, which they can update based on permissions. You can have your announcements and all other things that you can see on the left-hand side. So all these features that we are talking of are very much accessible in the mobile apps as well, because we all are dealing with the generation of millennials who are more than happy to use everything in their mobile rather than come open a desktop or laptop system, right? Now let me directly, dive you into the agenda of today. So this is the second session in the series of webinars we were having. So for those of you who have joined the last session, we have had something like online admission last time, right? So I believe in this kind of pandemic scenario, there are three major things. If our education setup concentrates on, we can keep things rolling. So first thing is being able to take your admission process completely online. Second part is being able to conduct your day-to-day activities like classes, automation of attendance. All this can very much be done using the CAMUS platform. And one biggest challenge would be being able to conduct your examinations, right? So that is where we all are now. Now maybe we have been hearing across the globe, and maybe specific to the Indian context, NEET and JEE examinations, and people are worried how to do these examinations and all other things, right? So to all these kind of challenges, we have a solution in the CAMUS platform. So now let me quickly take you into that approach of CAMU and how we'll be able to do this examination with proctoring, without proctoring. Now, what I will try to show you is I'll try to take you a process, without enabling proctoring on it. Then I'll show you the same experience with proctoring enabled, right? Now we have brought in a concept called question banks, right? So where we give an option to the faculty to be able to generate questions. Let us say this semester I am taking a subject engineering physics, right? So next semester one more faculty. So let us say this semester I add 150 questions, next semester 200 questions. So that way your question bank for that particular topic keeps on developing, right? So being able to prepare a question bank is a very easy process, where I will come over here, I will select which school, then you can see all the subjects popping up. So let me select one subject, and I will say, so there's already one question paper prepared. I want to prepare another question paper. So you can see this, what do you want to name the question bank as? Which course is it relevant to? So is it a MCQ? Is it a descriptive, or is it a fill-up, right? Then you will have complexity of each of the question, how easy or how tough the question is. And you can give a mark, you can give how much time, 1 minute, 5 minutes, is it descriptive, 15 minutes, however you want. Then you can add chapters, sub-chapters, and also if there is a figure or something that needs to be given as attachment, that can be also attached, which will display in the question, right? And if you have any kind of equations, right, we have a detailed equation module using which all mathematical equations and other things can also be popped up using the system, right? And one more advantage is you can map all your assessments to any kind of formative assessment like a rubric, or you can map it to your outcomes based on your knowledge levels using the OBE module, right? Now, once, let us say, question paper is prepared. Now I have a subject engineering physics where I have close to 500 questions, or how many ever you prepare. So preparing the question papers is also a completely automated process, where either you can do it manually or you can ask the system to do it for you, right? Now I go here, I will simply say new, I'll say generate it for me. I'll give the question paper code. I'll say from which question bank I'm taking the questions. I'll give 100 questions, 20 questions, 10 questions, however I want. And I'll ask the system to generate it for me. The system will not only generate the questions for me, it will also show me the complexity on a rating of 5, 4.3, 2.7. So how difficult or how easy the paper is. So once the question paper is prepared, I'll be able to see the questions, right? I'm just showing you that. So I'll be able to see what are the different questions that have been given, right? If I just go and check, it will show me what are the different questions. I can change the order. Now I'll be able to make any changes, edits. So all this can be done, right? Then once I am okay with it, I can schedule a exam, right? I can schedule it to which department, what examination, right? And then I'll be able to make different kind of things in the examination. So let me select which paper it is. Okay. Now, as you can see, within the exam screen, I'll be able to do all this. So from when to when is the exam. So you have a flexibility If you want to have a traditional approach where you will say this particular date, this time the exam has to be taken, or you can give students a flexibility where within this 1 week, within this 3 days, you can give the examination. Maybe this is a demo setup, so I gave a lot of buffer, but again, you can have 3 days. Within the 3 days, student has to come and do the examination. So you have all the other features like in the questions, right? You want, after the examination, do you want to show the answers, or immediately after they mark, do you want to show it, or you don't want to show the answers at all? So you can have all these configurations. Do you want to enforce time for each question? Let us say I want to enforce 1 minute for each of the questions. If you want to enable it, you can. If you don't want, you don't. Then even there could be number of attempts for a single examination. Let us say you want to give them a sample exam before they go for the actual exam. So you can give them multiple attempts for that particular sample examination, right? And then you can jumble the questions and answers, the sequence in which they come, right? And then you can also enable proctoring over it, right? And then you can have starting and ending instructions for the examination, right? So that is how you will be able to schedule an exam, right? Once you schedule an examination, the experience for the student would be, student will get a notification stating that exam has been scheduled, either in an email or bulk SMS or via CAMUS messaging system, however you want it. Once they get this, student will simply come into their assessment screen. They will say whichever exam they want to take, they will start the examination, right? Now I'll also show you how proctoring will come and sit over this. Now let me show you, I'm showing you the approach without proctoring, right? The moment I say take examination, it will show me different instructions. So for an example, I've just put 10 questions for 10 minutes. I would say start the examination. Right. So the moment I start, my time ticker has started. You can see the time for each question, the time for the total examination. I'll answer the question. So I'll keep moving to the next one, right? This is a objective thing. You can have fill-ups, you can also have descriptive. So in case of descriptive, the student can either type the answer, or he can, let us say there's an equation, there's a flow chart, there's a diagram, right? He can put it on an A4, take a picture of it, and that can be added as a attachment, right? That is how the examination can be done, right? Now you can skip questions, you can come back to questions, you can jumble the order in which they are coming, you can jumble the options. There could be multiple correct answers, you know, and more answers for, say, 2 marks for one option, only 1 mark for other option. All these combinations are very much possible in the system, right? Now let us say I end the examination. The moment I end the examination, I have configured here where I want to show the correct answers at the end of the examination, right? Now, very bad student I am, I have scored 0 out of 10, right? You are able to see that. So score will be shown. You'll be able to see what are the correct answers, what are the wrong answers. So that's how the approach would be. So what I have shown you is without proctoring, right? Now, what all of us are interested in is, okay, if the student is taking examination of the comfort of his home, I should be able to do invigilation, or I should be able to monitor him. I should be able to say that this student is not trying to do any kind of violation or malpractice, right? So that is very much possible. We have collaborated with a US-based tool called ProctorTrack, which is widely used across the globe. Now, using this tool, you can enable proctoring onto the system. So let me quickly log in and also show you the proctoring capabilities, right? Now, the moment I enable proctoring for any examination, right? The moment student joins to take an examination, right? Now, the moment I am going here, I'm saying assessment. So there's an examination, ONB, I've named it, like onboarding. So I'll say take exam. Now this is directly going to take me into the proctoring screen, right? Now you can see, now I have already onboarded, but to show you the approach, now there's one onboarding examination. So for the very first time when you're doing, you will have to do this, 5 minutes of process, which will, check your facial and your ID card. Then it will give you onboarding pass, so that from next onwards, you'll be able to do the examination. It will also check the hardware of your system for any malware. So let me show that approach. Now I'm asking to take the examination again. Now you can see it is showing me some steps, how the system works, right? Now, as Caroline said, proctoring in itself is a very deep demo, but we are trying to give you a small sneak peek or a bird's eye view of what and how proctoring is enabled in the system, right? Now you can see, so I should use a private area for the examination, turn off all the external noise making devices. I should ensure my face is clearly visible. I should not be, the system itself will not allow me other tabs, right? And I need to sit directly in front of the camera, because if at all I'm moving my head towards other things, it will take as violation. So, and also some general guidelines, right? So once I say I agree with, so all of the things you can see, you can configure on what you want to allow, what you don't want to allow, right? So these are some general configurations, right? Now, once I am okay with it, I would say go to the next step, right? Now it will, download a small ProctorTrack, a 6 MB file that will help us to run into the system and check if the system is ready, right? Now I'm saying connect to the ProctorTrack. It's asking me to download. So once it is downloaded, so you can see the small 30 MB file that is getting downloaded. So I am running it now. Now you can see once the ProctorTrack is enabled, now my system is getting connected to the servers of ProctorTrack. Now the connection is successful. Now you can see it will do different types of checks. It's asking for my consent. I would say I agree. Now detected a camera. So camera and other things will get automatically detected. So I'm already using it in Zoom, so it might not reflect here, but again, I say confirm. Now you can see all my hardware is being checked, and if at all, for any, if everything is okay, if I'm able to take the examination, right? Now it is telling, please ensure that your webcam is plugged in and not freeze, right? Now let me, pause my webcam here, so that in the Zoom. Right, let me retry. Okay, now this is the process using which the onboarding will happen, right? Now my facial scan will happen. So now at the end of the session, maybe as I'm in the ProctorTrack, it is not allowing me to go to the next step because I have to, I cannot parallelly run another video conferencing tool, but I'll still show you how the system would be. So now I'm just trying to show you a small glimpse of a video where using the Camus system, how the proctoring would be enabled. At the end of the session, I'd request Caroline and team to be able to show, share a video across to all the participants. There are two videos. One is how onboarding is done. A second one is how would the report be. Now, if you can see, let me quickly try to show that to you. So now this is how the onboarding will happen. So now face scan is happening. Then after face scan, their ID scan will happen. So now once the scanning is done, they will be able to do the examination, right? During the examination, now you can see it is taking them to the Camus screen. And you can see the whole screen is in blue. That means not only your video and audio is recorded, your whole screen is getting recorded. All right. Now that is how examination will happen. Student will take the examination, right? Once the examination is completely done, his screen is recorded, his face is recorded, and also there is a AI system that is looking at different types of violations. So now I'll take you to the reports that can be generated during the after the examination. Now let us say examination is completed. After the, I'll not be able to show you proctoring because it will not allow any video conferencing tool to run during the proctoring process, right? Now after examination, there are two ways of being able to, one is you will have something called as live proctoring, right? During the examination itself, some of your faculty who can act as invigilators, right? Now the live proctoring screen will look something like this, right? This is a screen for a live proctoring. Now what you see are different students who are taking the examination. So at a time you can see 6, or now I think it has been extended to 12. So you can parallelly see 6 students being able to take the examination, right? So you can simply click and see. Say for example, as academicians, we know that in a class of 50, 60 students, there'll also always be some 10% of 5 or 10 students who are doing some kind of mischief always, right? Now to the what you see in the red here is the different violations that AI has detected. Now say Vaibhav has maximum violations. I'll simply click, Vaibhav screen will pop up. I can pin Vaibhav here. Then Tushar I can pin here. Then I can have alternate screens for all the others over here. Right? During the examination, what they are doing, I can have live monitoring. Right? So that is one way of doing it. The second way is we can have a report after the examination. So after the examination, like after processing for 6 hours or so, the system will give us a report, right? So that report will have all the violations that have happened during the examination, right? Now let me quickly show you a small video that is a report that has been generated after exam is conducted, right? Now just give me a moment. Let me change my speaker so that you will be able to listen to the audio. One moment. I think you will be having a little feebleness in the voice, but yeah, please bear with it. I still don't get it. One moment. I hope all of you are able to listen to the audio.
No, it's not audible.
Not yet?
No.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, I'll give you a voice over. Now, what you see is a report that ProctorTrack has sent after the examination is completed. Now you can see different students whom have taken the examination. I can select a single student and I can in detail see what he has done the whole 3 hours or 2 hours during the exam. So what the flags are the violations that have happened, right? Now I can check what they are. Now I have selected Chirag. So now I'm trying to see Chirag's whole examination process. It is showing me there are different 7 online violations, 13 video monitoring violations. So all these violations are detected by AI. So again, as a COE or as a examination department, I can check different violations. So there can be some, if he's drinking water or if he's, so those also can be shown as violation. Again, I can say, okay, they can be negligible. Then based on the kind of violations, I can give a penalty, re-examination, or whatever the institutions or organizations want to do with those kind of scenarios. Now you can see data copying attempt, phone call, multiple people, imposter, he left the session. So this is a timeline, right? So that particular time he has done that. So we can simply click that and be able to see what he has done. Now, when I say facial suspicion, right? Now, let us say if I'm turning my head away, it is taken as violation, right? One moment.
Okay. Now, whenever I'm turning my head away, it is taken as violation. But now let us say the students do different kind of mischief, right? They attach some noteboard on the screen itself, let us say, right? But my eyeball will not be looking at the camera. It will be always looking at, that sticky notes that I have attached it onto my screen, right? So that itself will be taken as a facial suspicion, right? So my eyeballs will be detected by the AI system. So somebody else has come into the screen, so it will be taken as imposter. So phone call, multiple people. And now let us say he's trying to take a screenshot of the picture or something like that, right? So data copy also can be, taken. So that is how violations will happen, right? Now that's just to show you the report that comes after the examination, right? Let me quickly close this video and let me just connect back to my Bluetooth system. Thank you.
Now moving ahead to the CAMUS system, right? Now, just to quickly consolidate what we have seen, you were able to see how you can automate the question paper, how you will be able to have examinations with proctoring, without proctoring, and then in the proctoring you were able to see how the experience for the student would be. He will come, he will scan, his system will be scanned, then the examination will start. During the examination, his whole screen and his face audio will be recorded. Then during the examination, live monitoring can be done. After the examination, AI reporting can also be done, right? Now comes the thing like, okay, I have taken the examination. How does evaluation happen, right? How does evaluation happen, and how I'll be able to map it to different examination processes that I have in the system, right? Now I'm trying to quickly show that capability to you. Now in the CAMUS system, so you have a very detailed, so to those of you who know the system, we have a complete COE where everything that is done in the, right from bundle management till your moderations or till your re-evaluation can be done in the system. So on that level, this kind of online examination would be a simple, small process. So now let me go into exam management. Let us see how the results will come, right? So now I'm trying to go to manage examination. So let us see different papers. Now there are different examinations. So let us go into one examination like macroeconomics. And if I want to enter my result, so there's one online exam conducted. So I've selected the exam. So I'm going for the question-wise mark entry. Now you can see this is a paper where, different close to 7 people have taken the examination, right? Now you can see each of the students' performance, right? Who are absent, who were present, right? Then in the examination screen, you can see this is a question that has been asked. The right answer is the one that you see with a tick, right? And the answer, the correct answer is the one that you see with the arrow is the one that the student has answered. So based on that, you can give them marking, right? And that process can be automated as well. Now let us say there's a descriptive question with some 5 marks, right? Now the student has done some attachment to it, right? Now the faculty can simply click that attachment. They can see what that attachment is. So they can see he's attached some image. So I can evaluate him based on that particular image, and I can give them marks for the descriptive question, right? So that is how the examination evaluation can be done by the faculty. So you can see lots of descriptive questions. And also we are, humbly, I would like to say that we are one kind of system that has not only automated the question paper setting, also monitoring, and above that, if I want to mark each of my questions to knowledge levels, right, to OBE, where faculty who are involved in the accreditation process, they'll be able to relate. Each question has to be mapped with knowledge level and CO to which they are relevant, right? So course outcome mapping and knowledge level mapping can be done here itself, so that you can see it will get mapped to the outcome. So tomorrow we don't need to sit after the examination, do evaluation, then come at a point where I have to see what is the outcome or what is that has been. So all this process can be fully automated, and we can do it with a kind of synchrony or harmony between all these three systems, right? So that is a little overview or a bird's eye view of how proctoring can be done using the CAMOS platform. Now I understand this kind of approach of the system is little new for all academicians. So I want to spend maybe the next 15-20 minutes to be able to take different questions that we have with respect to the queries. So maybe I'd request Caroline to make the session open for the questions and maybe moderate the questions and give me the questions one by one so that I'll be able to answer them. Yeah, over to you, Caroline.
Okay, thank you, Faiz. Now I have one question from Nina Lim. She wants to know what is the ratio of the number of the proctor to the number of students proctored.
So ratio between unproctored to proctored, that's what you mean, right?
I think so.
Okay, see, let me do it this way. So normally, if you want to do examination without proctoring, that will be more relevant in a scenario where, let us say, I am doing an open book examination, right? Or an examination where I give them access to the material and then they'll be able to take the examination, right? So in those kind of scenarios, you can very much do the examination without having any proctoring, right? But now let us say we are doing some kind of examination where it is more of his skill testing, where we do not give them any kind of material, where they have to do it by themselves. So in that kind of scenario, yeah, we would definitely have to do proctoring over the examination. That's how hope I answered the question.
No, what I understand is she wants to probably understand the number of license one needs to get to the, so for each license, how many students can be proctored? Maybe I think that's the question.
Okay. So if that is a commercial aspect of it, our model, as we are collaborated with ProctorTrack, it works per assessment, right? So normally you will be paying per assessment. You'll be paying it for a single, so if they're taking one examination, it will be per student per assessment. That's how you'll do it. There's no limit on how many assessments you can do.
Okay, Nina, I hope your question was answered. And Dr. Revati Sundaramurthy has a question. She wants to know whether students can attend MCQ exams using phone.
MCQ exam using?
Phone,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. It is possible. I would say if not in the app, they can open the mobile web browser and they will be able to do it. Maybe I would suggest if it is tab or something, or if a mobile with a bigger screen, it is viable. But you will not be able to do proctoring, if that is your core requirement. But being able to do MCQs should be okay. But we would not recommend that, because if you want proctoring enabled, it's always better to go with a desktop system. But again, we have to look at in specific what you are exactly looking at, so that we'll be able to answer that better.
Hope Dr. Revati that answered your question. Is there any other questions that you have? You can just use the question and answer or a chat window to type in your questions. We just have a few more minutes. Okay. Am I right to, okay, one more question from Captain Ajay. Can we correct the answer sheet without downloading them?
As of now, see, the approach that I have shown you, you can see the attachment, you can click on the attachment is getting downloaded, and then you are able to correct it, right? So we have that approach presently. But again, doing it on the go, we might have to look at how we can integrate it. But as of now, what we have is you should be able to download it and then be able to correct it. That's how it is. But let us say if it is a descriptive question where the student is typing the answer or something like that, you don't need to download anything. Similarly, for objective, you don't need to download anything. That's how it is.
Another question is, can we attach audio and video in question paper?
Yeah, that is a requirement where now I understand that maybe if you're for instance, let us suppose you are wanting to check their project or something, right? Where they are asked to do some small skills testing, right? Let us say, something like a model or something. You need to record that model and then put it back in the setup, right? So yeah, we can do that using our project module, but during the during the examination, the proctoring itself will record the audio and video of the system, but that is for the proctoring perspective, right? So during the examination as an attachment, I don't think you will be able to do that for the examination part of it. But I understand if the requirement is for project or something, yes, you can very much do that using our project module in the CAMU system.
And one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're saying it is possible?
In the project and assignment module, yeah, being able to record audio, being able to record video, and then faculty being able to assess it is possible. But in the examination, it is not.
Okay. And we have, can I teach students using video without Zoom or MS Teams?
Do you mind repeating the question, please, Carolyn? Can I
teach students using video without Zoom or Microsoft Teams?
Okay, now if you're talking of the proctoring setup, yes, you don't need to have you don't need to use Zoom or anything. The proctoring itself will give you a system where in the verification system only you have ProctorTrack Live. Here I don't open Zoom or I don't open Meet, so I will be able to proctor students directly using their system itself.
Okay, we have another question from Aparna Ramu. How do students get question and answer after finishing the exam?
I showed that to you, right? So immediately after a student completes the examination, there'll be a screen that will show them. So let me quickly show that to you.
Yeah, just maybe you want to showcase.
Yeah, sure. Now, immediately after the examination, now let us say I take this examination. Right, I complete this examination. At the moment I submit, it'll tell me that so many questions have not yet been answered. So immediately after it will show me. So what are the questions? What is the correct answer? What is that I have answered? So how many marks did I secure? Right. So all this can be seen. Hope I answered the question.
Okay, and we have another question from Dr. Revati. What happens if internet connection is disconnected for a student during the exam?
Yeah, thank you, Revati. You have rightly asked the question. In fact, I was supposed to say this as a flow itself. Maybe somehow I missed it. So if you see the takeaways, that is our fourth one. That says how are you able to be able to manage security and safety during the examination. Yes. Now let us say I am taking an examination, right? And now let us say power failure happens or my bandwidth gets disconnected, and it happens all the time, right? Now let us say the moment my bandwidth goes off and after 15 minutes I get it back, right? Now the system is so configured where throughout the examination time, right? So whenever within the examination period, if he rejoins, he will be able to get whatever remaining time as a buffer, and he will be able to continue the examination, right? Or if let us say the whole time is up, right? He's not able to join throughout the 3 hours. Then he might have to get in touch with the institution, and the institution will allow him to, based on the kind of requirement or based on the viability of how critical his issue is, they can conduct a re-exam. And CAMU system is so robust that you can conduct any number of examination, and scheduling is also a very easy process. So yeah, that is how it is whenever he misses something during the examination. And if you want to configure it, let us say after 1 hour, if he misses, if he comes back in 1 hour, he should be able to take. If not, he should not be. So if you want to configure it that way also, you will be able to do it. Thank you for reminding it. Great question. Hope that answers the question.
I have another question by Sarita. For language exam, can students type different languages like Hindi, Telugu, or Tamil?
Yes. CAMU system supports all the languages. but we need to, bring in, say, for example, if I am using a calendar, I'm using a calculator, right? So within the examination, I can allow a calculator app, right? So this app will open if at all proctoring is allowing it to open. Only then this calculator will open up, right? So similarly, like calculator, you can have virtual keyboards, right? Because if your keyboard might not support multi-language typing, right? So you can enable a virtual keyboard. So students can come over and use the virtual keyboard to be able to type multi-language, and multi-language input is very much supported by the CAMUS platform. Hope I answered.
Okay. Another question is, so basically one can do this, multi-language, multilingual capability for online examination is possible. And one more question, can fill in the blank questions can be corrected automatically?
Yes. Fill in the blank as well as objective will be corrected automatically.
Okay, and we have another question. Is it necessary to give the ID and password for ProtoTrack?
There is nothing like you give your ID and password using the, see, I did not, when I clicked the exam, it directly took me into the proctoring, right? So you will have only one CAMU login system, right? The advantage of we as a service, you can simply start using your Gmail account or Microsoft account, start logging in and start using the system. We are an SSO system. So similarly, you just log in into MyCAMU using your email ID, and then it will directly take you into proctoring. So that is a backend work that we have done. So you don't need to give any information from your end to proctoring.
So what you're saying is basically a CAMU login ID is more than sufficient for them to do the examination. I guess that's all in terms of, we have a few more minutes. If you have any other question, please feel free to type in the question and answer window. So we'll be happy to take them. All right, I guess.
Yeah, maybe we'll wait for 1 more minute and then.
Yeah. Okay, is it possible for us to do away with Teams and use only CAMU for online classes?
Okay, this is out of the thing, but yeah, I'll be happy to answer. See, the whole idea is something like this, right? We are already used to some video conferencing tools and their kind of setup, right? So that is one way. The second thing is, yes, we can very much have our own video conferencing tool. CAMU is already in talks with a US-based tool called Sealight HD. But again, it is going to expand, or it is going to increase the pricing of the setup as such, right? So when Microsoft Teams is offering it for free of cost, right? And when you can get, if at all you want to have something like Zoom or other things, which you are getting it for a very less licensing. So that is the reason why we are wanting you to, go with that kind of system as a video conferencing tool in the CAMU product. That is how we have been doing it, and that's how we have been doing to all our most of our customers who are using our virtual conferencing tool. But again, there are specific requirements in some countries where they're wanting video conferencing also to be a part of LMS. But again, if you're if we are in a situation where we can put that kind of investment, yes, why not? We can very much give you a dedicated video conferencing system.
Another question. There are 3 more questions, Fayaz. Yep, could you please show us how to share the keyboard to different languages? Would you be able to showcase?
No, I have to download the virtual keyboard for different language, and then I should be able to do it. We can to whoever is the person, we can come back to them with a link.
So ma'am, what we suggest is, we can, if it is a specific requirement for your college, we would be more than happy to fix the time for you and then showcase the demo exclusively.
Now I can show you the English one. I don't have any other languages with me, but again, you can see, right? This is how the system will work, right? They can have a virtual keyboard, right? And they can reduce the size and however whatever way they want, so that it will not be a difficulty in being able to do the examination. And then they can use this to type something. Let us say I want to type something.
There's one more question. Can we use Google Meet instead of Teams?
For the video conferencing, yes, you can very much. Okay, if you're talking of Google Meet, okay, we are in discussion with Google Meet for the integration. But yeah, as of now, we support Teams, we support Zoom, we support C-Lite HD. We are still in discussion with Meet. So no, in that case, for the video conferencing tools.
We have another question. Can we send the meeting links to the students like it can be done in Teams?
You don't need to, right? That is the whole concept of it. We want to do it in such a way that normally if you're doing it in Zoom or in a Microsoft Teams, you will create links. That link has to be shared in WhatsApp. There's very possibility that that link can go outside. Some external mischief can happen. As an academician, day in, day out, we are facing all these challenges. So, and then you need to be able to take attendance in the session. So all this process, all this clutter is avoided in the Camu system, right? So they have a Camu login. Whatever sessions are happened, directly it will come into the Camu's login. They'll simply come, they will say attend online. So let me show that to you. So they'll simply come to their timetable. They'll say attend online. That's all. The session will be started. They'll be able to attend and take the classes. So that's how we have simplified the system.
Okay. Can the students type in formulas and equation in the text box provided when they are attending the exam? Ramagiri has a question.
Okay. So normally for mathematical equations and other things, you can very much have it in the question. But again, typing it in the answer is little challenging. That's the reason why we say that for mathematical equations, for descriptive, for questions and all, they can simply do it on an A4, take a picture of it and attach it as a attachment so that a faculty can always view it and they'll be able to evaluate it. So that's how we can do that.
So Mr. Velmurugan has a couple of questions. One is, how do Camu shows the questions to the students? Another one is it possible to see students whether they are copying and they are not? I guess that you have already explained, but anyway, you may.
Yeah. First thing is, this is how the question will look to them that I have already shown, right? They'll come, this is how the question will look. We see this question and this is how you will be able to answer them, move to the next questions. This is how the questions will look to them. And to answer, can I not make them, I mean, how can I stop them from copying? Yes, that is what all the proctoring is all about. So during the proctoring process, your screen will be recorded, your facial voice and face will be recorded, and you can have a live monitoring as well as AI based monitoring where you can give a configuration. Let us say I turn my head away from the screen for more than few seconds, that can be taken as violation. Somebody else is entering into my screen, that will be taken as violation. If I'm using a mobile, so that will be taken as violation, right? So those things can be configured and that is how you can stop them from doing any kind of malpractice. Hope I answered the question.
All right, I guess that's all we have now in terms of the question. Let me just, okay. That's it. Faiz, we have questions. Thank you all very much. We truly appreciate your time. I guess this session helped you understand, like I said, it's a sneak peek into to what we can, the possibilities of conducting a high secured online examination, and it just give you an idea of what Camu can do for you. So what we would ask you is, just in case if your institution is evaluating a tool like with proctoring, we are more than happy to schedule an exclusive demo so that we can go into the details of how Camu can help you. All your questions can be answered. We truly appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining this webinar. Thank you. Thank you, Faiz.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Hope the session has helped you to be able to get a little understanding of what proctoring is. For any other queries on the product or any other queries on the proctoring, you can always write to us. Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you, Caroline, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Take care.